Hello and welcome to my course on learning Urdu. This is Urdu for English speakers and my name is Javed Akbar. Urdu is my first language, although I've been residing in the US for past 32 years, but a lot of my thinking still goes on in Urdu. It's just the processing time for converting that to English has changed and has become much faster and more natural now than what used to be. But as I said, it is my native language, so I'm in a very good position to teach this class. Although I've never been an Urdu teacher, but I've been an Urdu speaker throughout my life, and since I've been speaking English for past 30 years or so here in the US, it's easy for me to understand both sides, both languages, and easier to translate one from the other. So to start off, a little bit of history and background of Urdu. It started off in the Asian subcontinent from what's India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. Used to be India only, or Hindustan as it was called back then. So it started about around 13th century. So it is a fairly old language, and it is a mixture of Persian, Arabic, Sanskrit, a little bit of English as well. The writing style is Arabic. All the alphabets are used are Arabic alphabets, and some are specific to Urdu only, which I'm going to point out when we get into alphabets. It is written from right to left, just like Arabic and Farsi or Persian. And that's the similarity between these three languages. So if you have learned one of these languages very well, it should be fairly easy for you to pick up the other two, because there are a lot of similar words between the three of them, and the writing style is the same. Prerequisites, you don't have to have one. I'm not going to assume that you have any background in any of these three languages. So we're going to start off from scratch. And who should take this course? Anybody who's interested, or maybe someone who has some business in either India or Pakistan, and or they have a job that they will be starting soon. And although in both of these countries, especially India, English is fairly a common language, almost a second language. In Pakistan, it's not so. You will still find the educated folks over there, even high schoolers, would understand and speak English, broken English, if not fairly well. But in India, it's more common. But still, if you know a second language, it always comes in handy. If you happen to be in the country, you feel more at home if you can speak the language and understand other people. And if you have a friend who is from one of these countries, then you can try this language on them once you learn it, and it'll surprise them. So let's keep going on our curriculum. So as I mentioned, we're going to start off with the alphabet. We're going to move on to numbers, days of the week. We're going to talk about colors. If I can think of anything else that I might add, I'll probably go ahead and put it in between somewhere in there. And then eventually we're going to, towards the end of the course, we'll be making sentences and more of we're going to talk about spoken Arabic, spoken Urdu, instead of just alphabets and words. So that'll come towards the end of the course. So what I'm going to do is, beside these slides, I'm going to do some attachments of letters and words, and there's some tracing practice also on those pages that I'm going to attach. So it'll be a good idea to print those out and trace those letters. It'll give you some good practice. Since all of this is happening online, I cannot sit down with you and have you practice, but this is the way that we're going to have to do that. You'll have to print out those sheets and then practice tracing those and see if you can do that without the trace also on your own on a blank sheet of paper. So that'll be like your test if you have actually got it down or not. Find a friend if you really want to. That's true of any language, not just Urdu. Is you can learn all you want, but unless if you practice it with somebody, you're gonna forget it eventually. And practice writing as well. Test yourself. So write the alphabets, as I mentioned, trace it first, get it down, and then once you have it down, then try to write them down without looking or without doing any traces. Try to read the numbers once you have those down. I'm thinking about going up to 100 because anything beyond that is kind of a repetition. I'll tell you how it goes and you'll be able to figure it out on your own. We'll go over days of the week and we'll go over colors, and if there are other things that I can think of by then, I'll definitely add those also in the slides. So this is a little bit of a background on the course and what it's going to be like, what the curriculum is going to be like, and what the language is about. And starting next lecture, we'll go ahead and actually deep dive. We'll go ahead and start off with the alphabets and move on from there. So until then, goodbye.